For those of you who watch my channel, you will know that I have made some very accurate predictions last year. I said that the Republicans are not going to have a red wave. Instead, they're going to have a small victory. Turns out that I was right. At a time when the mainstream media was saying that inflation doesn't exist and it's a far-right conspiracy theory, I said that inflation is going to become far worse. And at the same time, the price of gas is going to explode. Turns out that I was right. I also predicted at a time when most people were afraid that the new normal is never going to go away and you're going to need to have 12 Pfizer communion boosters in order to be able to leave your house. And everyone is going to have to show QR codes to the waiters and you will not be able to exist. You will be imprisoned if you do not have the Pfizer community. I predicted that that will go away. I predicted that we're going to go back to the old normal, except for few countries around the world. Turns out that I was right. The only thing that I got wrong was that Russia is not going to invade Ukraine. I gotta say, when it comes to massive human stupidity, it can definitely take me by surprise. So that is the one wrong prediction that I got in the list of very accurate predictions. Now, because of that, many people asked me to predict the future yet again. And it's kind of difficult to do because, first of all, there's no more major events coming up. There's no more elections. And the mainstream media isn't lying as it used to. I mean, it's hard to think of any other time in human history where the mainstream media was lying their asses off like they did in 2021. I think like only when there's a war and you're living in an authoritarian regime does the media lie as much. But yeah, now the media is still lying, but not to that extent, so it's difficult to make predictions because most of the things are obvious. I mean, if I were to say that inflation is going to be bad, the standard of living is going to get worse, recession is going to set in, it's probably not going to surprise anyone because everyone expects this, and even the mainstream media is now admitting to this. But I think I can say there may be regime change in Iran. Like, if I say something like that, it's something that most people don't expect, but looking at the situation in Iran, it's deteriorating, and there's also foreign nations, foreign powerful nations that have a vested interest in the regime change, so they're going to start dumping money and using their secret service in order to try to accelerate the revolution, which the cultural revolution, I guess, which already started. And things are definitely going to go a lot worse in Iran. When it comes to the geographical region of Eastern Europe, I think Transnistria will stop existing. I definitely think that it's going to become part of Ukraine with the blessings of Moldavia. When you look at social media, I think that Twitter is definitely going to be a much better platform, and I'm basing this on the fact that Elon Musk has invested a lot of money in it, and he just can't afford to let it go. He's got many other corporations that hire very talented and smart people so he can move those resources around. And I'm definitely sure that he's going to try to make Twitter far better. Probably it's going to be a major video hosting platform. So kind of like Twitch and YouTube, there's definitely signs that that's where he wants to go. As for the new Twitter CEO, I expect that it may actually be an e-celeb. You know, like someone from YouTube, maybe someone from Twitch, someone that has a big fan base, but is not a far leftist individual. So I do think that the new CEO is going to be someone that's not controversial, not overly political. If not an e-celeb, then probably a business person, but definitely not someone that's connected to politics, right? So we're not going to see someone from like the Hodge twins or Steven Crowder type of figure. It's going to be a person that's, of course they're going to have their political leanings and the mainstream media is not going to be happy. But it's going to be like more of a neutral type of figure, someone that's not very vocal about their political opinions. And take into account that the new CEO of Twitter is still going to be beholden to Elon Musk because it's his company. So regardless of who he names as CEO, if Elon Musk wants something done, he can just say that, okay, well, you need to do this, and it's going to be done, because he owns the company. There's no board of directors. There's no other people that the CEO is going to respond to. So it's more like a middleman that's going to delegate, that Elon Musk can delegate things for the company. So, yeah, my view on Twitter is very positive. I definitely think that the platform is going to go places. It's going to gain in popularity. And I hope that there's going to be a way for people to pay subscription for Twitter. Believe it or not, this is actually a good thing, because if something is free, then you are the product. And when you are the product, you don't have rights. But when you actually pay for a service, then you are the customer. So then the service has to cater to your needs. Then the service can't afford to just piss you off, because if they piss people off en masse, then they lose revenue. Simple as. So I would be in favor of a system where people can pay subscription on Twitter. And of course, the people who will pay subscription are the people who actually need social media in order to do their job. We're talking about journalists, writers, famous people, even like small bloggers. It's kind of like buying a tool for a special profession, like buying a stethoscope, right? Like, unless you're a doctor, you don't need it. But if you're a doctor, you know how to value it. So I think like the blue checkmark system is definitely going to be something that's going to be looked into, and people might get additional perks and benefits for having that checkmark. Another thing that I predict is that this year we might actually see a change in the mentality of Hollywood. We might actually see more movies being announced that instead of saying they have diversity, inclusion, equity, they might actually say they're going to be loyal to the IP, right? So you might actually find more movies, whether it's on Hollywood or maybe even on Netflix or Amazon. You're going to see like an adaptation of something, Warhammer 40k, whatever IP they're going to readapt, and they're going to say, instead of like, oh, well, we have a lot of diversity, oh, look, we got the first ever gay character. No, they're going to actually say, this is a true adaptation. We're going to try to stay true to the lore. Because behind closed doors, I understand that there is a little bit of a revolt within the writers' unions, and a lot of writers realize that if they don't make money, they end up getting fired. So they are trying to push for more accuracy when it comes to representing the IP and creating more entertaining stories rather than delivering the message. Unfortunately, however, the artists and the writers that are for the message happen to be in majority. They are the gatekeepers, but slowly yet surely, companies are going to at least try something new because they're desperate. I know from behind closed doors that at gaming companies, for example, people are very demoralized, like at Ubisoft. They actively think like, well, we can't make a good game, but at least we can make a pretty one. So the demoralization is almost complete when it comes to the people that are actually creating the art. And, it just takes one writer that has enough influence to try and whisper something to one of the gatekeepers, like, hey, let me try my project. Just, let me give it a shot. And hopefully, such a project will make a lot of money, and then more similar projects can be greenlit. We'll see. Speaking of Warhammer 40k, Henry Cavill has already stated that his adaptation is going to be faithful to the source material. So I have high hopes for that. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. And if you want to support the channel, there's a link to the subscribe star into the pinned comment, and hopefully I will see you guys there. Take care.